expert on that one here?
Welcome back, Bravehearts, to the Doc of Detox show. I'm Dr. Daryl Wolf, and guess what? This is DocStar.tv, and today we're going to be talking about Thundershroomz, and we're going to be talking to Serena and Oliver, okay? We're talking about a mother and son adventure of a lifetime that would change their lives forever. And what did I entitle this show today? Well, how about this one? From Hell and back, okay? All right, because that's what sometimes you do. You go right into the fire, and that's the test right there, to go into the fire. She's gonna talk about her story and understand something. This is everybody's story to some degree. Do you wanna know why? Because you listen to the expert, because you listen to the authority. And guess what? Who said they were an authority? Who said they were an expert? Did you even check them out? I don't think so. So you actually go to a medical doctor because he's an expert on health. Okay, right away we got a problem, don't we? Okay, we got a big problem here, and we got a problem everywhere around the world, because understand something, with the C thing that's going on right now, listen to all the experts, listen to all the authorities. And isn't there a war going on? Okay, hey, today's truth is tomorrow's lie, okay, where they try to lie and justify, okay? And understand something, whether you want to believe this or not, this has to end. And it's going to start with today's show, and it's going to start with Serena talking and taking you down a journey of a diagnosis that wasn't even real. Isn't that something? So you're going to actually, okay, roll the dice like going to the casino and bet your life on one person's opinion, okay, that has been indoctrinated for years. What do you think, Serena? What do you think, Oliver?
Oh, Daryl, I totally agree with you. And I thank you for this opportunity to share this story of mine, because I think the whole world has to learn and has to hear from me, because I've been through a lot, and I'm grateful for this opportunity, although it's 12 midnight, almost 1 a.m. where we are. But
and where are you?
We're in Chiang Mai, an hour from Bangkok by flight. 3 hours from Bangkok.
Yes.
And I'm in a Qigong retreat, Taoist center, amazing place, just like what you have in Mexico, in Ixtapa, but of course not as boisterous, not as lively as where we are in Ixtapa. I love the energy in Ixtapa; it's amazing. But anyway, back to the what Daryl introduced us, from health and back. Health was what I was, a healthy person. I've always been a health nut, and never, even before gluten was a thing, I knew gluten did not sit well on me, and I avoided it, etc. All these things that maybe 20 years ago we never hear of. I was quite aware. I was all switched on, and did everything that I was that I was supposed to do for my blood type, for my even my cultural background. I'm born Asian, so there's some things that I cannot take in my. So I did all this necessary look into life and all that. And anyway, I always practiced Pilates, yoga, Qigong, Tai Chi, even when we were living in America and all that. So I always had lived a healthy life.
How old are you now, Serena? Do you mind me asking how old you are?
65.
65. Okay, go ahead, sweetheart.
So one day in the year 2015, 2014, or before that, in 2011, my daughter came up to me and said, Mom, you're coming with me for a bike ride around UK for a fundraiser for a cancer foundation in UK, for a hospital in England. I said, I don't know how to ride a road bike. How can you, what am I going to do? It's okay, we'll learn. Anyway, I did that. We did the 300 miles from London to Wales. Beautiful, wonderful experience. And that got me hooked onto biking. So I went biking around and did a lot of biking. And then from there, I became addicted to, she said to me, I signed you up for a triathlon event. Triathlon, biking, racing, swimming, running. I've never done that before, but I've always ran. I've always done exercises, and I was even a personal trainer. I even trained to be a personal trainer. That was my first background, and then first looked into the health industry, and then I jumped on that, did the mini triathlon, and of course came in first in my age group at 53. I was proud of myself. There were a few other ladies who had done triathlons before and were upset that I took the medal from them because they had been the winners before. And, but this is your first time in a triathlon? Yep. And so anyway, proud as I went, so that led me on to more interest in this kind of a triathlon race event. So I did a couple of races. And then I started.
Serena, do you mind if I would like to just give the audience, there's a lot of people watching the show here today. I'd just like to give them a little snippet why they should hang around. Just know this, that Serena, for her diagnosis, it was cancer, but we don't call it cancer in my business. It's just stage 4 inflammation. If you call it cancer, then you terrify everyone. And we already know that they've made that into a death sentence, which is, as far as I'm concerned, a BS, which is a dysfunctional belief system. And understand something, everybody, too, that there was 12 in Serena's group with this situation. She is the only one left, and she's the only one that did what she did. And understand something, when I met Serena about 8 months ago, right, Serena? 9 months ago?
Yes.
Okay. Understand something, she was the only one left out of 12, okay? Now,
13. I was the lucky 13.
13, okay, so 12 are no longer here on this planet, God bless them. But here's the deal.
I know.
If even from the last 9 months, if you would have saw what the radiation and the chemo did to her skin, did to her body, even when she came here, and the difference today, you wouldn't know it was the same woman. So I need you to understand something. This is worth the story, because we all have a story, and we're all going to go to hell and back. Okay, so that's the way it is, because until you go to hell and you feel the fire and your life is on the line, okay, then you know that's when you go and you reach down inside and you go, I can find my authentic self. Go ahead, Serena.
So anyway, one day my husband said, hey, honey, we've got a free medical checkup, full medical checkup from the company, insurance company. You got to do this, etc. So, okay, like a good citizen, I went to do my annual checkup, my full physical, and the full physical result came out, and the doctor hounded me, kept calling me to say I have to come in immediately because there's some bad result from the test. So I went in a couple of weeks later, and she said, your EBV reading is way too high, and it read 600. EBV is Epstein-Barr viral. So I have an Epstein-Barr viral infection because it read at 600 instead of 0. So I was on my way to UK for a holiday. I said, I'll deal with that when I come back. Not problem. Oh, no, it's a big problem. You have to come in right away. Then I said, well, I'm not, because anyway, I went away for my vacation.
He tried to stop you from going, right?
Yeah, he tried to stop me from going. He said, you have to come in immediately.
It's all about control. It's all about control. It's all about fear. It's all about the end of the world's coming. I want to say this to everybody, and I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think about this. Think about every time you go to the medical doctor. Everything is about what? Fear, panic, anxiety. Make a decision right now. You've got to do this. Your life is on the line. Now, understand something. These are not bad. These are not bad people. These are people with really bad belief system. How would you like to be a medical doctor where everything is an emergency. Well, guess what? Why wouldn't it be? They're in emergency care. And if you're in emergency care, all they do is collect emergencies. They make everybody into an emergency. And understand something. What's worse than cancer? False evidence appearing real, which is what? Fear. And understand something. They don't even know that they've been programmed into the most corrupt system on this planet. The most corrupt system on this planet is the medical industry, because they are actually the petroleum industry. They're actually the Rockefellers. The Rockefellers own it all. So go watch my video that I just did yesterday, I'm Gonna Rock Your World, and find out if I'm wrong. Or go watch Medical Mafia in my library, okay? And then go tell me I'm wrong, okay? That is real history. Go ahead, Serena.
Mm-hmm. So where was I?
So they didn't want you to go on the holiday. You needed to not go on your holiday, okay?
I did go on my holiday. I went on my holiday. I went on my holiday and I came back. There was no symptoms whatsoever. I had a great time. I didn't feel sick. I didn't feel nausea. I had no symptoms. But foolish me went back to my home Singapore and went to the doctor and said, okay, I'm here. What's new? And he said, I need to do another reading. And yes, you have nasal pharyngeal carcinoma. I'm going to take a biopsy from your nose. You got to go and see an ENT doctor, and he will take a biopsy. Now, in the meantime, my gynecologist was informed. I have no idea why my ENT would inform my gynecologist about my symptom on my nose when she deals to the bottom, and this is from the top. Anyway, she called me back and said I have to come in also to check, because the last gynecological checkup was I have HPV. So I have to go and have a surgery or something. So I said, I can't do both things at the same time. Let me just
come on, sure you can. This was a 2-for-1 deal. What's wrong with you? You like
2-for-1, yeah, exactly.
2-for-1 deal.
It was so I did, because I had done an HPV before with her, and it was a follow-up with her again. And anyway, I told her. So she called the ENT doctor to tell him to let me have my treatment as soon as possible so I can come in to see her when I'm done with him. And anyway, when I was prescribed this diagnosis of nasal NPC, which is very common in Asia, this is common amongst Asian people, and I went back home, looked at myself, and couldn't believe my ears that I have nose cancer. In layman's term, it's nose cancer. Everyone walks around and says it's nose cancer. I don't have sinus in my issue. Maybe sometimes a cough and a cold and all that, but it wasn't anything bad. So anyway, I went back to the doctor.
Yeah, but a cough and a cold is normal. If people don't think they're going to cough to get sputum out of their lungs, if they don't think they're going to have a cold or a flu to get rid of the poisons in their cells, then guess what? I just want to say this, okay? People aren't morons, but they have moronic thoughts. They know nothing about health. Human beings know nothing about health. Most health practitioners know nothing about real health. Most health practitioners are programmed. They're just programmed little robots for the elite. And that's why we are where we are today. Go ahead, sweetheart.
So I went into the doctor and he did a biopsy. And he said, from this result, I'm prescribing you 33 radiations, supported by 8 chemotherapies for the first 6 weeks. And these have to be done as soon as possible, immediately, because otherwise it will go up. You will get to, he said, it's stage 2.5, and he's something like this. If you don't do it today or as soon as possible, it will affect your pancreas. And once it gets to your pancreas, that is the end of you.
Okay, Serena, do you mind?
Those were his words.
Okay, first of all, believe in whatever you want to believe in, everyone. I don't believe that cancer spreads. We're born with cancer cells in our blood, in our body, all the time, for our whole life. They're actually there to make us healthy, and you can believe it. Don't really care if you believe it or not, because there's no getting through to the majority. I already get that. But the reality is that, guess what? Cancer doesn't spread. And we already know that cancer is just inflammation. When they say stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, it's all different stages of inflammation in the human body. If you bring the inflammation and the infection out of the body, that's how you treat it. Dr. Otto Warburg got the Nobel Prize for discovering that cancer, twice. I said that 3 times, because somebody better listen. For discovering the cause of cancer, which is that cancer is a deficit of more than 35% oxygen in the cells. Okay, and what happens, the cells say, I don't want to die, so then they have to mutate and they start living off lactic acid and sugars. Okay, so that's the deal. And all you got to do is change the inner terrain. Okay, so everything is a symptom of disrespect. Everything is a symptom of disrespecting the human body by not feeding the spirit, by not honoring, by not aligning yourself. And that is the God's truth on this one. And the reality is everybody, you have to understand something, okay? It's only going to get worse because the majority of the population has bought into this story. And did anybody ever notice something when somebody in the family gets cancer? What does everybody want them to do? Because nobody knows how to eat or treat or love or care for themselves. Everybody loses their shit. And that just freaks out the person that already has infection, inflammation, and a stage 4, and it even gets worse. So what do you think it did when this guy's telling her and freaking her out on the phone, telling her she can't go on holiday, then coming back and having 33 radiations, 12 chemos in 6 weeks? Right away, she says, we're dying. We're dying.
That's what I sat there, and he prescribed me this whole prescription. And being ignorant in those days, I've sat there and I'm saying, what? The fear in me, if I had never had cancer it didn't develop, I would have it now.
You definitely
in his
do.
office, from the fear he put into me, that would definitely have happened for sure. Looking back now I'm laughing at it because I know better. But at that time, when he told me to stop, when he gave me this prescription, I was angry, mortified, fearful, and anxious, and I said, I cannot believe this. I have lived a cleaner life than most people. My kids have never had a bottle of Coca-Cola in their lives. They don't drink sodas. So
well, hold on a second. Let's just ask Oliver, because I think he snuck a couple behind your back.
I'm like, how can this happen to me? Oh, anyway, so unfortunately, I said to the doctor, I have to go to Texas in September. Will I be done by then? I had not done any research. I had not done any reading up about what the damage radiation does to you and how bad. I didn't know. I had no friends who had gone through radiation or chemotherapy.
I know, but Serena, did you just hear yourself? Hey, doc, do you think we can squeeze in all those chemos and radiation? Because I'm already booked for something else.
Exactly.
Exactly what
I said. But I wasn't saying that Johnny told me, because I was fearful. I said, if I didn't do this, I'm going to die and it's going to get my pancreas. And then it goes to your blood, he says. And then
it's not true. It's not true. And I'm telling you right now, I don't mind being challenged by any scientist, medical doctor. Come on my show and challenge me on that. But cancer does not mutate. What mutates is fear, and fear causes anxiety, which causes adrenaline and cortisol jumping to create inflammation. Inflame, that means fire, so that when you feed a fire, it becomes a raging fire. It's going to spread. Let's use our head. It's just the next weakest organ.
All the emotions I went through, fear, anxiety, anger, all that. Exactly. Perfect incubator for cancer cells to develop.
Yeah.
I was in the doctor's office. The perfect environment for that.
Listen, Serena, can I tell a little story, and then I want you to get right back to it? The last time I was in Canada, okay, I had to take a relative to emergency. I didn't want to, but they couldn't get there on their own, and I was going to mind my own business. I went into emergency. Now, who in emergency is calm? How many people in emergency are calm? The whole place is packed. Who's calm in emergency? Nobody. So
No
what are they
one.
doing in Canada now when you go to emergency? They take your blood pressure before anything else. So guess what? I sat there, okay? And I said to the person I took there, I said, listen, they're taking everybody's blood pressure. And as soon as people find out they're going to take their blood pressure, they're scared their blood pressure is going to be high, and their blood pressure goes high. There was a study done, okay, that 98% of the population, that's 98 people out of 100, that if you have to get your blood pressure done, your blood pressure goes up. And I said, what a scam. And I sat there and I watched, okay, I watched everyone come in, and I watched them write a script before they even talked to them about their condition. They gave them a script for blood pressure meds before they even asked them what was wrong with them. What a scam. So now I go up to her and I go, listen, you know, and I don't know, I should have kept my mouth shut. I said, I'll tell you what, I'd like you to take my blood pressure just for the fun of it, and you'll see that it's totally normal. Okay, and you can take my nephew's blood pressure here, but I just need to get him to do the Lionheart breathing for just 30 seconds, and then his is going to be normal too, and then everybody else's you do isn't going to be, because you're scaring the living crap out of everyone first and then giving them blood pressure meds. I said, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's what I said. Anyways, you know what? It doesn't pay to say it, but you know, when do we give up? Go ahead, sweetie.
So I went back home and I went on the computer, put on my computer and looked through it, searched through it, and NPC, what it's all about, what it is and how, and etc. There was nothing much written about it in English. It was mostly in Chinese because it's more an Asian infected illness, they say. So it was done, researches were done in Hong Kong and in Taiwan, and I don't read medical Chinese anyway, so I left it. But I Googled some people who've been through and who have to try out how much damage radiation can do to your body. I was so uneducated in that field at that time. I had no idea that anything of that magnitude can damage your body for a long time. So, but maybe the eagerness to leave and go to this great.
The doctor said, did he say you could be finished with your chemo and radiation and still make your trip?
Yes. So I asked him. I said, will I be done by September?
Is he like
18th?
crazy? 33 radiations, 12 chemos. Who even survives that?
He said, you'll be done by, so July 13th, I started, or 14th. He said by August, by September 12th, you'll be done, and you can fly on September 18th. Okay. I said, are you sure? Yeah. So I went to see the radiologist and he said, yeah, you'll be good. You'll be good to go after that. So I went back home, did a bit of and most of the write-up was, it's not bad, it's quite, you get it done, and the tumor's gone and you'll be well again. There was not very much about it, and not many Westerners have NPC, so no one talks about it as well. I couldn't find much about it. Anyway,
you know, you're kind of scared.
On my way, I went the next day.
Yeah, but you're kind of scaring me a little bit, Serena, okay? Because my wife, okay, she was part Asian. I could have caught it.
You could have been, yes. And your children could have as well. It's genetic. Did you not know that? Cancer is genetic. Well, I forgot to say that when the doctor diagnosed me with NPC, I should have kept my mouth shut, because I said to him, in fact, he didn't say NPC yet. I said, my brother died from this very thing a few years ago.
Oh, boy.
That was, he concluded, therefore, I have to do my radiation ASAP, because it's in the family.
Okay, just so everybody knows, there was called the Genome Project. They took multi-million dollars of taxpayers' money, and what they did was the medical system said, for once and for all, we're going to put this to bed. We're going to do a study that's going to shut everybody down, and we're going to prove that all cancer is genetic and that all disease is genetic. What a cash cow that's going to be. How many people out there know that when they finished the study, they buried it? Cancer is epigenetic.
No idea.
It's epigenetic. It's not genetic. It's not inherited. Okay, so you better get that, everyone. But guess what? You're not going to be able to talk to the average person, because the average person is not going to get this, because they're not in the conscious mind, they're in the subconscious mind. And that's the bottom line. You know, even though somebody heard it right now, 10 minutes later, they'll hear that Uncle Harry had some kind of cancer, you know, maybe a lung cancer, and then the person's just going to go, oh my God, I'm going to get it. Because it's so easy to program human beings, yes or no. Look what they did to you.
Oh yeah, and I've been a headstrong person from the moment I was born, and I went humbly to the doctor to be chemo radiated and chemo, whatever. Yeah.
Hey, when you got done, how was your brain? Did you have chemo brain? How was your thinking? How was your everything?
Oh my goodness, Daryl, after I finished the 33, in fact, on my 30th, so every Monday, I will go for my chemotherapy to support the radiation for the next 5 days. So for 33 days, I did that. So 4 weeks, Mondays, and on the 33. So on the 28th radiation, I said to the radiologist, I said to him, Doc, do I have to do my last 2 chemotherapy? He looked at me and he said to me, what chemo?
What?
And
Wait a minute. Whoa. What do you mean the doctor said, what chemo?
The radiologist said to me, what chemo?
Oh,
I
really?
said, holy F. I said, wait a minute. So I went back to him and said, you did not know that I had been coming to you every week, but Monday in the morning, I go for my chemo and I come to you right away after. The doctor said I need to do the chemo to support the radiation that I'm going to get from you after that. He says, do not tell, he said to me, first of all, no, you do not need the last 2 chemo. And he said, in your case, you don't even need any chemo, just the radiation. So I then since learned that most NPC clients or patients or victims, whatever you want to call them, only do radiation from then onwards. They do not prescribe chemo anymore. But I was probably the last guinea pig that did both as a trial for them to see whether the chemo adjunct will support the radiation and will heal me faster.
No, whether or not you could, if somebody your size and your age could survive the test.
Exactly. Without them coming, I was so angry. I was so furious. Anyway.
Can I break in for 1 second? We've got some people asking, yes, if you want to come on Zoom, you can come on live and ask questions, you know, if you want to come on Zoom today. And if you've never been on our Zoom Q&As, all you got to do is email us at nwp@docofdetox.com, and we'll send you back the Zoom link. And it's the same Zoom link we'll be using for this Thursday, for going through all our questionnaire for our treatments and trainings and consultations at 5 o'clock Thursday night at Central Time. And also, it's the same Zoom link I use tomorrow at noon for doing my live health Q&A if you've got any health questions, okay? And if you've got health questions or you want to ask me questions or Serena, you can type them in on Rumble and Facebook, okay? Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Serena.
What was I?
I was a little bit pissed off.
Right, he said to me, you don't need to do chemo. You don't have to do it. But do not tell your uncle I told you this.
What?
So those were his words.
Do not tell your oncologist I told you this.
That you do not need the last 2 chemotherapy.
Yeah.
And I was furious. I was now angry at myself for being stupid, angry at myself for believing what the doctors have told me and not check anyway, and disappointed with the medical system for not communicating with each other. So I went back home and
well, it's not about communication, okay? It's about inflammation.
Well,
Daryl, you know, one thing is kind of reminds me of, it's like when a person goes to a fair or a market,
yeah,
and one person sees them walk in and say, oh, you know what? They're good for a 12 pack.
Yeah.
Then someone else sees them, hang on, I can get a six pack out of that one. And then, so we have the radiation doctor, we got the oncologist, we got the gynecologist, and, ping-ponging around, booking appointments and sort of, I don't want to say milking, but really have their own agendas and not even cooperating with each other to at least get you the best sort of least invasive treatment, because they all have their own agendas.
I'm going to tell you something. With the HPV, I've seen in just 1 or 2 vaginal infusions, they go back in, it's not there. Everything is environment. Mm-hmm. You know what? The bug is nothing. The inner terrain is everything. You change the terrain, you change the bug.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the generous thing that the radiologist told me was, he said to me, for a lady of your age, he says, I'm very pleased to let you know that you have not developed much symptoms from the radiation, because most clients come in and after 10 days of radiation, they have lesions all over their body, their neck and their face and all that. I said, oh, great. And I have not lost my hair yet. Until the third
Just
week.
your mind. You only lost your mind, not your hair.
Congrats, you're not a leper.
Yeah, he said,
well
he kind of like, oh, you must have been a healthy lady. I said, I was fucking healthy until I gave myself to you in your hands. Anyway, on the 4th week, I broke out in lesions all over my neck, my tongue. I could not speak, I could not swallow, I could not drink, I could not smell, I could not taste. Had no sense, anything. I could not hear, and I could not think. I was becoming a vegetable day by day. And where the hospital was when I went for my chemo and radiation, it's just behind the building that I live in. So I would walk down and walk back up. One day I couldn't walk up. It's maybe
5 minutes,
7 minutes walk.
7 minutes, yeah.
I took a cab home because I could not walk back. And I stood there, shall I walk and lose my balance, or shall I just take a taxi? I was too embarrassed to take a taxi for a 5-minute walk home. Anyway, I hopped into a cab and I got home and I was completely devastated at myself. What have I done to myself? What have I committed? Why did I submit my whole body to the system that do not even talk to each other about my treatment? That was the one thing that got me so upset and so devastated. I was angry for a long time with the medical system.
Yeah, but you can't, you know as well as I do, you can't stay angry because that just feeds the fire.
That was not healthy for me. So I had to then find a way to to deal with that. But something else came up. After the whole treatment, I went to see a naturopathic doctor, a lady who was representing a healing center in Bangkok, that Tom Rodai's clinic, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, a center there, and I went there to Bangkok and saw this doctor who gave me a 2 weeks treatment of GC, meth, whatever, and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. But I didn't get any better. I was better a little bit, but I did not stay well. I came back down again. So I said, this is not working. I could not sleep. I could not swallow. I could not poop, and I did not know anything about animals or see, the thing is, when they have this kind of therapy for you, no one supports you. No one says you may feel this way, and if you feel this way and you're constipated, there are such a thing as an enema or to help you release. No, I had no support anywhere. And I went to a private practice to do this, not a public hospital, not a public medical system. So I was disappointed about that. Then my teeth were beginning I had only one filling in my mouth up to the age of 53. I had perfect teeth, one filling, one tiny one. And since the radiation, my teeth were moving, my gums were out of Everything was just horrible. So I went to see a functional dentist, and I mentioned to her what happened to what I did. And she said to me, why didn't you see a dentist before you went for your radiation? And I said, no, when I went to the radiologist, I had to sign a paper to say, these are the things you must do before or you must do after the radiation. And at the bottom of the list was consult your dentist after your radiation. So I said to her, you mean I have to put this in front? I must tell everyone that I must see my dentist before I do any radiation. She's totally. And I asked her, I said, you're a doctor. Why isn't this changed on the protocols of medical care after a radiation? Why isn't it written in front, consult your dentist? Why don't radiologists tell the patients to go see the dentist before they get radiation, to make sure that your gums and your teeth are healthy? If there's any filling, fill them up. If there's any or whatever needs to be fixed, because once you're radiated, I learned after that your teeth cannot be dealt with for a good 5 years, because the gums are too sensitive for them to handle, for the dentist to work on. So that I had to fight with the medical system in Singapore to change this. That was a few emails back and forth, and me queuing up in the offices for the medical system. So that was a lost battle, but
isn't it, you know what? You're always going to have to fight for your rights, because there's a government inside of a government, and it's called the psycho rich that work for this evil entity that feed off of human beings, and that's it. So you know what? You can't go to battle. You can't go to battle. You can't go to City Hall and win. So that's it. You cannot go and win.
Anyone listening, before radiation, please consult your dentist. Get all your dental work done and make sure that you are clean and there you're healthy before any invasion of any chemicals, whatever, into your system. The best is to avoid them. But anyway, if you have no choice. So then I went on to see this place in Bangkok. I had a bit of improvement, not much. Then I decided to go to another place up in Phuket, where another healing center, and to do a detox, a 40-day coconut water detox, fasting and detox. That was, I thought, would be the best thing for me to do. And when I went over there, I met a doctor who was a medical doctor and had left the medical field to become a naturopath in Arizona. He left Arizona to come to Bangkok to start up a naturopathic clinic for natural healing. So I heard him talking about cancer, and he calls it redneck. There's no such thing as cancer. We all have it in our body. If doctors tell you have cancer, don't believe them. And if you've got it, it's not cancer, it's redneck. And so he has a term for it. And
what does he call it? Redneck? Redneck? No,
redneck. Reverse it. RECNAC.
He spells cancer backwards to disempower the meaning of the word.
Okay.
So
Redneck.
Redneck.
Okay.
Cancer backwards.
Well,
right?
yeah, no, but it's really, he meant the people that are dealing with are a bunch of rednecks.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Exactly. He means, the point is that it's as meaningless as it is redneck.
Yeah, good.
So we give it the power and the fear.
He said to me, bring me your results when you come back next time, your biopsy and all your MRIs and etc. So I brought on my folder, and he said to me, look at all this. He says, you know how small is that growth the doctor said you have? He said, look at my fingernail. It's this size. He said to me, what did you do? What is different in your life for the past 2 years? So I thought about it. He says, because it's an Epstein-Barr. Everyone has Epstein-Barr virus. He said, the doctors didn't tell you that you could rest at home, and he should say, stop whatever you're doing and just rest. No, he told me to go and come for 33 radiations.
Well, I know, but nobody looks at you, Serena, and says, hey, why don't you just slow down? Because you know as well as I do, since you've been here 24/7, you've decided that you're going to save every puppy and every cat and monkey and dolphin.
So Daryl, after 18 months, right? So we've had these treatments.
Yeah.
No, let me finish this one first. So the doctor said to me, what did you do for the past 2 years that's different? I said, lately I was training for a half Ironman triathlon. He said to me, bingo. He said, listen to me. Epstein-Barr virus is a simple thing. He said, it's just your body telling you, rest, 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 because you're overworking your body. He said, who at 53 trained for an Ironman, half Ironman? I was 55 by then. He says, who at 55? He said to me, he says, this is what happened. This is why. He says, so don't beat yourself up. It's done. Let's now look into detoxing the chemicals out of your body. Come stay with me. Let's do this for 40 days, coconut water fast. Well, he managed 40 days. I only managed 20 days. But I did 20 days with him, and a lot of shit came out. But he said to me, when you go back home, he said, just rest and calm down from whatever anger, because he could see you are angry with the medical system. I said, I'm pissed. But anyway, so all along when I was in Thailand, in Phuket, I went to a few other monastic healing centers, to some temples and all kinds of stuff, all kinds of healing modalities, breathing, breath work, deep qigong, long healing. Then I came back to Singapore, and we were going to be going away to Australia for the Christmas holidays. And I got a call from the doctor, from the oncologist, hounding me to come in for my last 2 chemo that I did not take. So he says, you have to come back and finish the last 2 chemo. And I said, no, I've done my radiation. I'm fine. I'm not traveling. I can't fly to Texas in September. I was completely a vegetable, so I couldn't fly. So I said to him, I don't need it. I'm fine now. He says, but you have to come in. So I said, okay, I'll come in with my family. So my family came in, my husband, my daughter, my son came in. And he said to us, I have to have this on record and in writing that your wife refused the last 2 chemo. Is that right? Jeremy said, yes. And then Fiona, my daughter, asked him, Doc, would you give this to your daughter if she was diagnosed? And he said, no. And Jeremy said as well, would you give this to your wife? He said, no. So he called the nurse in, and the nurse was there to witness that I said all this. I refused the 2 last chemo and signed off it, and that was end of story.
But then, you know, Serena, if I can say something, I wouldn't even have went in. Who are they to say you have to come in and sign off on this? We don't have to come in and sign off on anything, okay? I'm going to Canada. I'm not downloading the ArriveCan. I'm not getting the COVID up the nose. I'm not going into 2-week isolation. I'm going through the airport and going on my merry way. Enough is enough.
Whatever. We live in Singapore. We are in a very small country, and the government knows every movement we make. The fear of being picked up by the ministry to go into jail for disobeying a medical law, I have this fear in me. But anyway, now, so we said to him, we don't want any more. Then he said, okay, go on your holiday, Christmas holidays, come back. You have 18 more to do for the next 5 years, right? He said something like that. So for the next 5 years, you have to do 18 chemotherapies, and then we'll see how you develop, how well you become, and then we'll take away. We'll give you maybe the next 5 years. I have to have at least 18 more, and then supported by some by visit to him every 3-4 weeks, every month. And I said, I'm not doing this. I'm fine. So I went back to see my dentist, and she said to me, your teeth are really bad, she said. Because of the radiation. And I asked her, will I ever gain my mouth health again? She says, it will take a long, long time. But she said, you know what? I'm meeting a doctor who's in town from Bangkok, and I have a few clients who have been using his product. And she said, maybe you want to come and see him. But before that, after my chemo, I must also tell you that I've been going for a vitamin C drip. And I went to see another naturopath in Singapore, and I've been weekly, every day for the past 6 weeks. I went daily to have my vitamin C drip and May's cocktail and all that, and getting all the stuff. And I was given some mushrooms from him as well, from this other doctor. And this is where I met all my other friends. We all came together in his clinic, and we would sit and kind of have lunch together, socialize amongst ourselves, all cancer patients, breast cancer, lung cancer, a lot of breast cancer, a couple of nasal NPC like me, maybe 3, and then 5 breast cancer, throat cancer. Anyway, we're all together in this clinic, getting our vitamin C drip in and out of the hospital, in and out of his clinic. And this is where my 13 friends, we have met together, and we got kind of close because we all were going through the same journey, and we're discussing how our animals are going and what's going on with our body. And so it was like a cancer circle, talking about symptoms and how we get rid of symptoms and how to improve ourselves and our health and gain our health back, and what supplements we've been taking. And because we're in Asia, there are lots of TCM, Chinese traditional Chinese medicine we share with each other, and which Chinese doctor is good, and which Trina or which caption, which any therapy that we had. So I went then to see this doctor. My dentist said to me, this doctor is coming to town. Why don't you come with me? I'm meeting him for lunch. And I said, yeah, I've tried so many things, and this is my last shot. I said, I'm gonna check it out. Anyway, so I went, I called my son. I said, Ollie, there's a guy coming to town. Let's go and see him. So we went to meet him. And this is the Dr. Frankie Chan from Bangkok who brought the mushroom in. The dentist told me that she's had a few patients who has taken his product, and she has seen their gums improve and their teeth strengthen. So, but she has one very serious case of a patient who has ALS, right? And she said the remarkable improvement he's shown in from taking the mushroom quite in a short period of time, she was quite impressed. So she said, I looked at the research and the science behind it, and they sent me a whole folder of all the science, because she's a doctor, so she has to be based on scientific results, right, and all that.
Yep.
So she read through it. She's a beautiful functional dentist, and I love her to bits. She's amazing. But sometimes in a small country like Singapore, you have to follow the medical system and do what they say and keep within the boundaries before, otherwise you are scratched out of practice. So they have to be mindful of what they say and what they do, like in America and everywhere else, I suppose. But so we went to see him, see the doctor, and he told me that this is it. If you want to have this mushroom and the condition you are in, you need to be committed to it. There's no today I take, tomorrow I won't take, the next day. This is something you have to do, and you have to go back home, think about this. It's going to cost you X amount of money. Can you commit to it? Because I have seen people who come all enthusiastic. I want to heal. I want to get well. I have this money. Let me pay you. Take it home. They don't take it. Or they say, yeah, I want some. And then sometimes they decide not to do it. And it doesn't work for them well either. So you have to commit to at least 1 year. Let's start with 6 months and then go to 9 months and 12 months. And you come back and see me. I'll do a bio test on you here's the computer, see how you progress. And then we go from there. Daryl, I must tell you, I flew to Bangkok. I said to Oliver, let's go. And I went to see his outfit, his lab. And in there, I met this young lady who had NPC, and I heard her talking. And I said to her, I asked her a question, do you mind me asking you? I said, I heard you say that you have NPC. He said, when was the last treatment? She said, oh, I had my last treatment last week, last radiation. I said, did you have any chemo? She says, no, just radiation. And I said to her, did she have chemo? I forgot. No, she only had radiation. And I said to her, do you have any symptoms? She says, no. I said to her, what did you take? She said, I took the mushroom. Frankie told me to take the mushroom before I go for my radiation every day for 33 radiations. She had not lost one hair, no lesion, no tongue, no burns, no nothing. And she would go back home after her radiation. She is a
So was she doing 20 a day of the critical care?
Would have been roughly about that.
Yeah.
24, 12,
24?
12, right?
She was doing 24?
12, 12, yeah. She took 12, 12, and
well,
then 24.
I can see it. I mean, after the radiation, you could probably do 20, but during the radiation, you better do 24, right? Because, nothing's going to stop radiation in doing what it does, but it'll stop the symptoms that it creates.
Yes.
Inflammation symptoms.
Yes.
That is so destructive after the actual thing is done.
Well, that's usually what takes everyone's life. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. In that group of 13 people, we have to remember they weren't having any type of supportive therapy to reduce the harm from the inflammation of the radiation.
Right.
So that was a big factor.
Well, yeah, that's right. So in that group of 13 people, we had 2 people who I managed to share the mushroom with them. They tried it, but they did not go gung-ho.
They didn't take it. I mean, they were trying things when they were already. We were talking about from health and back.
A 5-foot ladder and a 20-foot hole, and
by this point, we're already 12 months into trying stuff. We're in like a 60-foot hole. We're not in a 20-foot hole anymore. Yeah. Been digging deeper. And
well, that's the thing. I'm going to tell you something. Okay, so the world's never going to change, and that's why 99% of the population is always going to pass away from this. They're going to pass away. I mean, there's only a 2.23 success. That's just with chemo after 5 years. That's not with chemo and radiation. That means just barely minimum of 2 people are still alive, okay, out of 100 after 5 years. Just doing chemo.
And that's what Dr. Frank said to us when we said to him, why take it so long? I was thinking to myself, he's trying to sell us something, right? He's trying to sell not just 3 months. He wants to get the whole year. But he said, listen, I've done this for 20 years. The professors I learned from have done this for 50 years. We know the survival rate, the battle is 3 to 5 years after from when the doctor says you're all clear. Now begins a 3 to 5 year long battle. Starts right now. Doesn't mean you just won. It means now you're starting.
See, nobody wants to hear that from me, though, Oliver. Nobody wants the truth. Right. When people come here, they go, hey, Dr. Wolf, how you doing? I've got cancer. I'm coming for 10 days. Don't come. Stay home, and then we'll put the money that you think you're just going to spend, okay, into just building a protocol for you at home. Don't, even the plane, everything else, just stay there. Because I'll tell you right now, if you're dealing with a situation like cancer, stage 1, 2, 3, 4, you know what? If you're not coming here for 6 weeks minimum, and 3 months is what I would say would be minimum, but I can't get people to do that. Hey, Serena, they'll come here, and I'll tell them, and they'll show up, and I'll go, okay, so how long are you here for? 10 days. Yeah, 10 days, because guess what? All the cancer clinics in around the world, okay, they'll take 30 grand from you in 12 days into 14 days. And guess
18-day package.
Well, I spent 30 grand for 2 weeks in that clinic before.
I know,
18 days.
But they don't get it. They're not going to spend that kind of money being here for 6 months. The reality is it's a change of personality that saves your life. It's living off the juice bar, doing the exercises, smiling, going to the beach, getting the Celsonic only when you need it, not jamming 2 weeks of miracle therapy and then sending you home to live with the same people that help you cause the cancer.
But now you're $3,000 poorer.
Yeah.
So add on to what you say, Daryl, because immediately after the radiation and the chemo, I was very, very bad. But I recovered quite fast because I had a healthy life. But shit begins to hit the fan and slowly working worse and worse and worse the next year and the next year and the next year. So you're right. So the next 5 years after your chemo, if you don't do anything about it to regain your immune health, you're going to go down very fast.
Well, it's the same thing as they take the toxic waste, they put it in drums, they put it under the ground, and they go, it doesn't exist. They take the toxic waste, they put it in your tissue cells. Okay, so just so you know, we're probably not going to get into this, but I will tell you that the last advanced water fast that we did here probably 4 weeks ago, Serena, the radiation and the chemo came out of her face, and it was eating her nose and her cheeks away. And it looked, and that was the radiation. And she's like, oh my God, Daryl. And I'm going, we just got to relax. Just let it come out. It's got to do its thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I have pictures of it.
That was years? That was 5 years ago.
6 years. So it does not leave your body. It does not leave your body until you do something about it. You got to detox, get rid of it, change your lifestyle, change your mind, change your almost everything. Because I allowed the system to diagnose me as a sick person when I was not sick. Epstein-Barr virus is nothing. It's just something in your body that you have. It just went sky high because you overstressed. I overstressed my body, and having done that, the radiation completely destroyed my inner body, my organs, my kidney, my liver. Oh my goodness, my brain fog. It was the worst thing. I could not think. I was angry. I was upset. The emotions were just all over. I was not the same person.
I'm going to keep this as light as possible, but I just want to tell you that if anybody thinks that there's not an evil entity living off human beings down here, then you've got your head up your ass so far that guess what? You'll never see the light of day. You'll never see the light of day. Why do you think there's so much suffering? And why do you think human beings go attacking each other? We attack ourselves, we attack each other. Look how we're going to buy into this next lockdown. Oh boy, here comes the herd. All right, so anyways, so then you started doing the Thundershroomz, correct?
Yes. So after the I met the doctor. I spoke to the young lady, and then there were a few other ladies with breast cancer who. The remarkable thing was his sister, right? Anyway, so when the lady with the nose cancer took the mushroom, I was so impressed. And I said, how's your teeth? How's everything? Oh, I'm fine. She will go back home after the radiation, and she's a tea leaf. She makes tea. So she go and pick tea leaves. She will go out. She showed me pictures of her with a basket in the back on her back, and she goes and pick tea leaves. Harvest her tea leaves. 3 weeks later, I came back to Bangkok to pick up the mushroom, to take the mushroom home. And she was, so we went to Chiang Mai. So we went up to see where they were, and then to see a monk and all that. And she was there, and I asked her, how's your mouth? I have no problem with my teeth, her gums. And she showed me her mouth. And I said, how come mine's so weak? And I realized I have to take this mushroom. If that's what it didn't, she has no harm, no side effect from her 33 radiation, I will have to try it. So we did. Granted, it was a little bit beyond our budget, but I said I rather do something about it now.
If I can say something, there's people that do have the budget for it. There's people that don't have the budget to find the money, and there's people that do have the budget and they don't find the money, because it comes down to value. Whether people want to believe this or not, and you don't have to get it from me, get it from someone else then. It doesn't make no difference to me. But the reality is this. I have what I have in my life because of my beliefs. You have what you have in your life because of your beliefs. Whether you're talking about finance, whether you're talking about health, whether you're talking about relationships, whether you're talking about the shape of your body, the place you live, the car you drive, everything down to your socks. And that's it right there. So you better get it.
Totally.
And when you've got no value, Because I have people that come to me and they are worth a lot of money and they have no value. And then there's people that come to me and they have no money and they're worth value, and they get it together and they put it together. And that is the growth on this planet. You are only limited by your limiting beliefs. That's it.
Absolutely.
End of story.
I told Jeremy, I said to my husband, I said to him, I'm getting this, like it or not, whatever we have to ditch, we'll ditch, and we'll just get the mushroom. And I said, the doctor said you have to do a year's supply. And I said, good, I'm on it for a year. And then I tell you, Daryl, when I took it on the very first day, the first evening, it was Chinese New Year's Eve or something like that. It was, anyway, I could not believe the energy, or it's like somebody's turning on the switch in all my organs, tick, 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 coming, oh, brain on a little bit. Okay, it's not immediately well, but my brain was turned on, my ears, my nose. It was like amazing, wonderful feeling. And I was able to sit and laugh, and I could joke. And I looked at the kids and I said, oh wow, what's that? But so gradually, I guess because I had so much chemicals in my body, the mushroom just said, oh, we have so much work to do here, let's do this. I was given a lot of high dose. I had a high dosage, 24 in the morning and 12 in the morning. 12 and 12. So I took 24 in every day. And how many 250 did I take? 6 and 6, right? Yeah. 6. So 12, 6, 250, and then 12 of the critical health, morning and evening. And I could not believe the way I felt. And I shared this much. A few friends have seen me in the cancer circle, saw me and asked me what did I do, and I told them about the mushroom. And in that circle, there were a couple of people who could, like you said, who have so much wealth, so much money, and could buy the mushroom clinic, could buy the lab from the doctor. And he would not. He says, no, I'm not doing it. No. And another lady who could not afford it, she went for it, but did not stay on the course. She only did a month. And the doctor said to me, Frankie Chan said, you have to tell your friend, she's already spent X amount of money.
But Serena,
she had to at least take minimum 3 months.
Serena, nobody's going to want to hear this, but it's got nothing to do with any of this. It's got to do with not loving yourself. It's got to do with regrets. It's got to do with guilt. It's got to do with shame. It's got to do with maybe the people in your family don't love themselves, don't love you really. It's about neediness. It's not about true unconditional love for oneself or each other. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. People don't even know what love is. The majority of the population, they don't even know what love is, okay? They don't know what life is, and that's that. And I'm not any better than anybody else, but also I know how to observe, and I know what's going on, and I know because I have a logical brain.
They don't love themselves enough to put themselves first.
That's it.
And I tell you, Daryl, that was the one thing that I was grateful for. I needed it. I wanted it. I'm going to get it. Come hell or high water, I'm going to get this mushroom. And I told my husband, I told Jeremy, I said, we have to get this. He says, sure, whatever we have to do, we'll do it. And I was blessed because the doctor then, we were blessed. We were able to support myself, get this much for the next 3 years. So we had a 3-year supply of this. And I'm telling you, it's the one thing that turned my life around. Because I've seen people who've taken it and not fully follow it through, ditch it. Recently, a friend has just, you're talking about Rohit? No, okay. Anyway, the people who take it and then don't follow through, it won't help you. You have to really kickstart any therapy that you take. You have to follow through. And if you don't follow through, it's not going to happen for you. And like you said, to love, honor yourself, respect yourself, that you deserve this and you have to have it to get yourself back to health again, is probably the first step. I was glad that I was able to do that.
Yeah.
And that is the key. You need to see the value in yourself to want to do this.
But I want
to get yourself well.
Thank you, Serena. But I want everybody to understand this is not a cancer product. This is an immune, challenging, activating product. And I would like Oliver, you to explain how the mushroom actually goes in and it stimulates the immune system by testing it, doesn't it? It's like it's testing the immune system and saying, get your act together. We're going to help you out, but we're going to poke and we're going to prod you.
It's almost like the mushroom is that is the really aggressive trainer that you maybe kicks your butt, gets you up at 4 a.m, throws a bucket of cold water on your face and says lots of mean things which hurt your feelings but really whip you into shape. So that's what the mushroom does. And it, we have our bodies already able to have a lot of natural anti-cancer defenses. It's just that those defenses become sluggish over time, and they get slowed down by bad diet and bad lifestyle and
inflammation, bad communication, and then it's almost like the P53 gene shuts down, so then the cancer can't kill itself.
That's right. In the last episode, we talked about the P53 gene. So you basically have all these tools in your body already, but they're not working because the messaging system has been disabled. A hacker's gone in and he's switched the frequency on all the radios so that your security team can't communicate with each other. So what the mushroom does is it goes in and fixes that signal. So your immune system is able to properly communicate with the parts that needs to. So the NK cells, the natural killer cells that are able to recognize and destroy cancer cells as they mutate and become new shapes and forms. We already have a cell that's able to do that. It's just that cell is out of shape. That cell needs to be retrained and needs to be updated. And that's exactly what the mushroom does. It comes in, it causes a ruckus, it sort of kicks up a fuss and whips people into shape. And by doing so, it reactivates the thing that we're already born with, which is this natural innate immunity against even cancer. So that's really what it does. And so why we say, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, is because that's simply what the research shows is the amount of time that these 3, 10, 60 feet holes that people find themselves in. There's no shortcutting that just takes time. So the way it really works is just to enable your body to to re-empower its own natural immunity and then the natural cancer defenses.
Well, I like how Frankie Chan told us when we first met him that when we turn age past 30, our T1 and
20,
T2.
yeah. So it's at a younger and younger age, our different immune system tracks will start to degrade at a faster pace. And so by age 20 already, a lot of the T1, basically the immune cells that dominate, that anti-cancer cells, become overactive by the age of 20. So we see a lot of autoimmune diseases, and which are chronic lifestyle issues, which start to come up in people's lives around age 20, and those also suppress the natural cancer defenses in the T2 immune system.
So we have the T1 and T2 in our cells, right, in our body. So the T1 goes to sleep.
No, T2 goes to sleep.
T2 starts to go to sleep once you turn 20, and it goes to sleep longer and harder and goes in a long, deeper sleep as you get older. And when he said to me, when you take the mushroom, it wakes the T2 cells up.
Your sleeping immunity.
The sleeping immunity to fight against the it tells the T1 to wake up, and it tells it to do its job, to fight against the not to be friends with every cell in your body, to be selective and only be friends with the good cells and not the bad cells.
Right.
So he put it very simply in layman's term, and I thought, oh, that's easy to understand, right? So that's what it does. And I asked him, I said, how do I know that? He says, here, there's a whole file here. I've got patients sending me responses. I don't know about this. I need to know in simple terms. So he explained that way to me. And I said, wow, that's incredible. He says, when you take the mushroom, it's the only thing on earth that can wake the T2 cells to do its job. And he says the police and the detective.
We call the T2 the special forces.
Right,
Whereas
and then
the T1 immunity is like your normal police force. Yeah.
so that was when he said that is the only thing that can help, that can wake the T2 cells up. So that's when we decided, well, if that's the most powerful thing on earth, let's go for it. And I've not regretted it, and I'm really glad we did it. And I still love the product. If anything else, it's my go-to thing. One thing I don't miss out on.
Can we talk about, Oliver, what sets us apart, like in the way that, just know this, everyone, you can get all different types of great mushrooms for many different things for health, but there's not one that will touch immunity like this one in the planet, around the planet. There's nothing that even comes near it. Now, just so you know this, okay, 95% of all the mushrooms that you buy are grown in a lab and they're 6 weeks old. I hope you know these are 30 to 90 years old, grow on the side of a tree up in the mountains of Asia. Oliver?
Okay, and I'll make it as simple as possible, which is that all mushrooms affect the immunity, but different mushrooms of a different age affect different parts of the immunity to different degrees. And the specific part of the immunity that affects cancer, autoimmune disease, and anti-aging is most effectively helped by this species of mushroom that you find in Thundershroomz. And specifically, when the species is wild grown in nature, surviving the elements, and above the age of 30 years old. So that automatically excludes lab grown. It excludes rushed to production. It excludes synthetic or quasi hybrid, synthetic, not full natural. So these specific conditions are what allows the natural properties of the Thundershroomz species to develop these chemical compounds, which are effectively the trainer for our T2 immune system. So all mushrooms are good for health, but some mushrooms might even make the problem worse. In fact, there are some mushrooms like Lingzhi or reishi mushrooms, which a lot of people think are generally good for health, but research shows that that species of mushroom is really good for your inflammatory immune system, which is the T1 immune system, which is the problem that people already have. So whilst most people might think that reishi or Lingzhi mushroom is a good, healthy mushroom, it's not really for the right issue. So we know about this exact species of mushroom because this species has been studied for over 2,000 years, was first recorded in the Yellow Emperor of Chinese traditional medicine over 2,000 years ago. So since then, the exact species, the exact age and conditions under which these properties occur in the mushroom have been very closely recorded. And more recently, since the 1950s and 60s, exactly the perfect conditions for the optimal mushroom have been really perfected by the Japanese and Korean scientific community since the 60s, when they've been really working on this as a treatment to give alongside people when they go for chemotherapy. In Korea, you can get this a cousin of Thundershroomz. It's paid for by the insurance companies to go alongside people when they go for chemotherapy because it reduces their vomiting and their nausea and their hair loss and all things. So we already know in Japan and Korea, it's institutionalized. Mushrooms are a very important friend, a chemoprotective agent for humans when they go for chemo and radiation. But this memo never got sent to the West. So that's really, I think why you and I are doing this project together, because there's a lot of people we can help just by this knowledge, which we already know out here.
Well, the Thundershroomz are going to save hundreds of thousands of lives, not us.
Yeah,
they
well,
will
the great thing is,
they will trigger the innate immune system that everybody has that's so amazing, and that will not cure anything. It will just turn on life. That's it.
So Daryl, one thing I would just add from my personal observation. So I know, Serena since when she was taking the mushrooms for 2 to 3 years
Right.
before she met. So 2, 3 years of great times with the mushrooms, but that's before we met you. So I can tell you since that time of combining the Thundershoomz plus a lot of the perfect day stuff, I can see the impact of the same amount of mushrooms going a lot further, and or maybe a lesser amount of mushroom is required to
Yes,
achieve the
that is
same
true.
effect as before. So that's why I think this is more exciting than just me bringing the mushroom by myself to people. This is exciting because people are going to get a lot of synergy when they start clapping and
Yes.
removing the physical toxins out of their body. The mushroom's going to have a bigger impact. When they stop pooping in their pelvis and they do a few things in their diet to clean it up, where they add in some fiber, they start removing that scar tissue. The mushroom's not going to have to work so hard to let the beneficial compounds
Yes.
hit you, right? So there's going to be synergies that people are going to discover, which we don't personally know because we only know Doc of Detox for 1 or 2 years, but we know the mushroom for much longer. So what the exciting thing for me is going to be to see when people say, hey, I've been doing all these other modalities with Doc of Detox, and I just started the Thundershroom, and we're going to start seeing. I'm expecting to see people reporting results that normally would take like 12 to 18 months to
Really,
see
yeah,
faster.
yeah,
That's what I'm hoping to see when people combine it with these
true.
other practices.
If you, like, I was just sharing with a friend today, if you clean up your body, you've been doing a perfect day life and doing the nutraceuticals, that the right ones, the quality ones. So you take the Thundershoomz, all your other clean lifestyle, your balance alignment, and your nutraceuticals will do all the easy work. So when you take the Thundershoom is
Yeah.
left to do the work it's supposed to do, and will
Hard work.
go right to the waking up the T2 cells instead of cleaning out your shit already because
Right.
you've been living a bad lifestyle and you've been eating crap. So you're not wasting the Thundershoomz. It's going to be
Yeah.
effective for you
So
if you.
one we have a really good study where we have like a hardened liver from fibrosis and cirrhosis. And we have a study to see that liver actually becomes soft and fleshy and healthy again. So that's with the help of the mushroom. But if that person can reverse the damage from the broken liver. So this is a liver that's considered dead by medical definition from liver and disease. I mean, from alcohol disease, but it can be reversed. The cirrhosis can be reversed into fibrosis, and that can be reversed into a healthy liver. So that can happen with the mushroom. So, but what happens if the person keeps drinking and smoking and eating all these things? That liver is never going to reverse its state. So, when we combine the two things, we have the action of the mushroom, but we also have people removing the input that got them there in the first place. Then we see real life-changing effect.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's exciting to see the people who are here in Ixtapa who are doing the whole life and doing the perfect day life, the 4 pillars and etc., and taking the right supplements for them, the right nutraceuticals for their needs. And then when they take the Thundershoomz for a specific need in their body, it will do its work like that because you save the heart, the leg work for the mushroom, for the
Right.
Thundershoom. It just gets to do the job it's supposed to do right away. And I feel that it's going to be an amazing.
Well, our job is to lighten the load on an emotional and physical level. Even
Yes.
before people get here, that's why we'll do the perfect day consult before they come here, so that they can start seeing what an actually healthy lifestyle is for the first time in their life. Reduce the inflammation, reduce the infection, and they get here. And then when we start doing the non-surgical, the cell sonic, the energy medicine, the salt scrubs, the clapping, the squat, all the things that we do, the juice bar. Listen, understand everyone, you can get this or not get this, but we're taking back this world. And when we say take back this world, we have to take back everybody's health. The world will always be here, okay? It'll just burp and fart, okay? But we're being torn apart. That's it. Yeah. Well, guys, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you
us.
so much,
Yeah.
Daryl.
And
You look amazing.
Thank you, everybody. So Serena's going to be coming back in the fall, and we're going to be starting the pain-free pelvic course. Okay, right?
Yes. I'm working on it.
You're working on it. So anyways, we did do it before, but we're making lots of changes to it.
Yes.
It will be designed around our 4 pillars and also the information that Serena has. We are going to improve all levels of this, and she will be doing it on Zoom around the world for women, and she will also be doing it for larger groups of women in public. Don't look at me like that, Serena. Okay, it's 1:30 in the morning. This is not a nightmare. This is a dream. Live it.
Sharon, where are you?
All right. Okay, I've got some questions. I got questions to answer here. I can probably answer them. I'm going to let you guys go to bed. How's that?
Okay, sounds
You're
good.
fine?
Okay.
You
Is
sure?
that okay?
You can answer you need to answer around? I'm fine.
Do you want to stay? Okay, stay.
Yeah, we can stay.
Okay, let's answer
waiting.
these few questions. But just know this, everyone. I'll be back here tomorrow at 12 noon Central to do a live health Q&A. Then on Wednesday, guess what? We have people buying Celsonics all over the world. Okay, Serena, you know, we've had 3 people buy Celsonics in the last week.
I know.
Okay,
I know.
so they're buying them all over the world because we will give $25,000 in training to anyone who buys a Celsonic. Just so everybody knows, somebody's saying, how much is a Celsonic on here? It's $115,000 US, but guess what? In most cases, the Celsonic will get paid off in a practitioner's clinic within 6 months to a year. Completely paid off. Do you know why, everyone? It's a 25,000 volt device that comes out as a love harmonic. I don't even want to get into that until on Wednesday, but we're going to be talking about it on Wednesday because everything is about frequency, everything is about electricity, everything is about decalcifying the mitochondria to get them to spin properly, to make the ATP, to turn on the P53 gene, to turn on your immune system. Listen, let me tell you something. We're going to rock the world. We are rocking the world. Okay, let's go to the questions. Okay, we'll get through these quick. Can we go to the beginning? Is there a beginning to this? Thank you. Are these all good ones? Okay, Layla, how does the Celsonic compare to the Avicent? Okay, first of all, make it quick. The Avicent is something you can purchase. Anybody can afford it. You do it in your home. It increases circulation by 66% every time you use it. The only other energy medicine device that can come close to that is 33%. It puts you to a parasympathetic state. Go look at it on the website. Celsonic, okay. Celsonic will shut down stage 4 inflammation in one treatment. Celsonic will actually break the calcium shell off of the mitochondria, which create the energy, which create the healing. The Celsonic will actually cause nerve endings to come together and grow together. Celsonic will actually cause bones to actually grow and come together. Doesn't sound like that's the Avicent. Okay, go and watch the videos. If you go to any of our products on our store, there'll be a video attached. You watch the videos and then you tell me the difference. Okay, next one, Maureen Loft. Dr. Wolf, how does the Celsonic, okay, no, we did that. Which company in Canada Eastern sells it? Sells what? The mushrooms, well, that would be Doc of Detox. If you call the local number, in the Canadian number is 250-215-8004. 250-215-8004 on WhatsApp. You can call them anywhere around the world, or you can call them in Canada on that phone number, or you could call extension 0 or 1, and I think that goes into Canada for Canadian sales, and the 800 will be picked up by any of my, okay, first of all, just so you know, everybody that picks up the phone is not a marketer. Everyone that picks up the phone has been trained in the Perfect Day nutraceuticals. Every one of them are health practitioners. So you're not getting someone to market to you. So that's on our 800 number, which is 855-900-4544 extension. Well, pick your extension, you'll get them. And my extension's number 5 if anybody wants to know. Can I buy it with settlement payments? Don't know what that is. Maureen Loft, Dr. Wolf, are you in Toronto on the 28th? No, I'm not. I'm in Toronto. I'll be in the Toronto area on August the 8th. Next. And sure would have been done. Nope. Lorraine, is there a back order on the Thundershroomz? I ordered them over a week ago and I haven't had any notification. No, there's no back order. They've got them. If you're in Canada, there was a back order. That does not exist now. Call the 250-215-8004 number or just call and ask to speak to Canada. Don't be shy. Carter Gomez. Why is Serena so angry? Well, Carter, first of all, when's the last time you had 33 radiations, 12 chemotherapies, and they destroyed your life? Are you like out of your skull, my friend? Okay, for one thing, if you're not going to get angry, nothing's going to get done in this world. Okay, so what do you want her, Carter, to be angry or
Serena
depressed?
was angry, not is angry.
I know, but
Serena
why?
was.
I know, but you know what? People think I'm angry. Okay, so here's the deal. People think I'm angry. Do you know what I am, everyone? So you better get this. I'm trying to crack through your coconut. You do know that 90% of your brain is your subconscious, which means you're only in the present moment 2 to 5% of the day. You are totally programmed by from 0 to 7. And 70 to 90% of the programs that you run right now, even if you're 90 years old, are killing you and your family. I'm wrong? I'm wrong? No, I'm not. It's a stat. From 70 to 90% of the majority of the population's belief systems are actually killing them. And if that's not true, then why is it right now that 80% of the population is overweight, 60% are obese? Why is it that 1 out of every 4 children are obese? Do you want me to keep going? Why is it that an 8 to 12-year-old can now have cirrhosis of the liver? Should we keep going? I don't think so.
Children with adult onset diabetes.
That's right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
listen, Carter, I'm going to tell you something. Some days it's going to look like I'm pissed off. But what do, Carter? No offense, not going to tell where you live or what you do. But guess what? You don't sit here and listen to the phone calls that I get. Mothers crying, fathers crying, screaming, hollering that they just lost their child or their child was just damaged. Do you get those, Carter? Do you get this, Carter? Who else is going to roar, Carter? Okay? Wouldn't want to upset you, Carter. Understand something right now. We're going to upset the cart. We're going to upset the apple cart because it's just one bad apple spoils the whole bunch, my friend. All right, Sandra Boo. I had 18 months of chemo for late stage BC. I don't know what she means by BC. Breast cancer. I have been fighting, I think British Columbia. I have been fighting to survive since the University of Minnesota. I spy 2 Dr. Eastern man had study out of, we are the sacrifice. No, we aren't. Whether you want to believe this or not, I am nobody special. I am just somebody that has worked really hard. I'm very passionate. But our protocols will turn around anything that's called a disease because there is no diseases. It's your body trying to get well, okay? Because you threw it into hell on a subconscious, unconscious level by listening to their BS, dysfunctional belief systems. Okay. Denise Ising, any heavy training a person does must be followed with taking okay, I guess it's any toxic person must be, well, high antioxidant regime. I hope you know this, that C60, our coconut oil C60 is not 250%, but 250 times stronger than vitamin C. It is the strongest free radical neutralizer fighter in the human body, and it is the main product used for the C thing today, the COVID thing, and for the symptoms of the V, getting the V. The biggest selling thing right now is our C60 MCT oil, and it's not us, it's the main product around the world. Mm-hmm. Okay, you see at times athletes dropping dead. Well, you know why. Why? Because their free radical buildup with the intensive training schedule without antioxidants. Well, that's true. It's inflammation, but understand something. Anybody that's a runner is running themselves to the ground. And that's the reality. We push ourselves too hard on an emotional and physical level, which in turn turns to organ issues. Well, no, actually it starts here first, issues in your tissues. You know, if you were to unconditionally love yourself. You would never hurt yourself or do things that are punishing yourself. Okay, Sherry, I walked away from 9 months of chemo. They said that if I did, I would have less than 1 year. That was 38 years ago. Good for you, girl.
Oh, done.
Tanya
Good for
Nay,
you.
Sherry D. Myers, my husband's friend, did the same years ago and he is still alive. My husband had the same cancer and did all the chemo radiation, and after over 8 years and all those treatments, my husband died. Of course, because the radiation and the chemo was the smoking gun, and it was stored, and he had issues in his tissues, and it took him down. Eli, what's the mushroom? Sounds so beneficial. It's called Thundershroomz. You'll see it on our website. We've got a lot of shows on there, okay? So you can check those out. Terry, how do we find out more about the mushroom? Go to store.docofdetox.com, and you can watch all the shows we've done. Sylvie, Quebec wants to vaccinate my 2-year-old newborn granddaughters at 6 months old. What can I do? I'm here in Quebec. WTF, who do they think they are? Trish, I'll tell you what you, call me later. Call me at 250-801-5893 on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Or 855-900-4544, extension 5. Hey, Serena, what are you saying?
You're saying that for children under, I mean, of all ages, really,
Children.
even the Vital Life that you carry can be very good for childhood immune
vaccination.
development.
Yeah, it can be, but she
We've seen
she doesn't want to be forced to be vaccinated.
Yeah, I know that's a different.
And
different issue.
Quebec is like Nazi Germany, okay, right now. Trish,
She could give the child the
just
Vital Life along with if they have to take the
C60.
vaccination.
give the child the Vital Life plus the C60, MCT C60. That's what you want to do. Trish, I'm wondering if cancer is caused by inflammation. Bam, you hit it on the head. Yes. What would cause a relapse in someone who has leukemia? Okay, you ready for this? I hope you're ready for this. It's called the trigger. And the trigger is on an emotional level. Take a look at when the leukemia came back. Take a look 3 months to 6 months prior. There was an emotional trigger, the same trigger that caused it the first time. My father got leukemia, and you can believe it or not, and I know you're going to say no, there's no way, he's lying. It took us 5 weeks. My father came to me, they gave him 2 weeks to live. 5 weeks, we got rid of his leukemia. Second time, we got rid of it in 3 months. Third time, he never made it to me. My son had leukemia when he was 9, so the hospital kept him and started treatments from then on. She was 5 months into treatment for the leukemia, and then it showed up in his optic nerve, and he lost his vision in one of his eyes. Okay, well, you heard listen to what he's getting. It's inflammation, okay? He wound up needing a bone marrow transplant and a lot of radiation. He's now 10 years old, but I definitely want to do something for him so it never comes back. Just remember something, there's a sleeping bear in there, okay? Sharon, I would get a Perfect Day consult, everyone. It's $150. You get lifetime support. Go to docofdetox.com, click on consultations, and then hold our feet to the fire. See if we know what we're talking about. Sharon, will you have Celsonic when you are in McKinney? No, we won't, but we'll have it when we're in Toronto. We'll have Celsonic in Barrie, Ontario. It's there right now. It's hooked up. She's already taking appointments. You can call Shalou in Toronto, okay? If you want to get her phone number, just call my office. Robert, Dr. Wolf, are you familiar with, can you keep going? With the product called Essiac-T. Yeah, Essiac-T it's probably about 50 years old. It's good. It's not going to cut it today, my friend. Between blue light, between 5G, between all the GMOs, all the chemical poisoning, between the COVID narrative, the climate change narrative, the monkeypox narrative, People are so stressed out. You better get more than a pot of tea, my friend. Okay. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay, that's it, guys.
Great.
Thank you.
Good
Great
night.
to see you again, Daryl.
Do I need
Great
to
to
tuck,
see
do
you,
I
Daryl.
need
Good
to
night.
do I need to tuck you in?
Love you. We miss
Love you too.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to give everybody a little bit of up-to-dates, and that is this. The St. Lazare course that we're doing in the Whole Life Coach, okay, is sold out. Okay, my apologies, but it's sold out. Can we go to the next slide? So we're going to be doing lectures in McKinney, Texas, and you can see the 2 lectures here. One will be on Sunday, one will be on Monday. So that's August the 21st, August the 22nd. If you want more information, you can see one's called Athletes of All Ages, Reverse the Irreversible, Stay Off the Bench. And that's on Sunday. And the Monday one is no more drugs, no more surgery, implants, canes, walkers, or wheelchairs. I can prove it. Say no more. And you can call these 2 numbers if you decide you want to come to the lecture. That's still a little ways away. Just so you know, the New World Practitioner and Whole Life Coach certification, it starts August the 25th, goes to September the 15th. And we have 4 more spots with the Whole Life Coach, and we have about 6 more spots in the Wolf Non-Surgical if you'd like to join us for that course. Next. Then we'll be here back in Ixtapa on September the 10th to October the 2nd, and there's still lots of room in those courses, everyone. Thank you. Now, Barrie, Ontario. Everybody, just so you know, I'm going to be in Barrie, and you can call if you want information where the lecture is going to be, okay? And I'm going to be doing a lecture on Sunday, August the 7th, okay? Sunday, August the 7th. You want to write that down? Sunday, August the 7th, I'll be doing a lecture, and it's called Mind Your Health, Mind Your Own Business. Okay? And it'll be from 3 o'clock until 6 o'clock, Barrie, Ontario, August the 7th. Anybody's welcome, but you need to call to reserve your seat. We'll also be putting up here tomorrow Shalou's phone number if you'd like to come, or you can call me and we'll tell you where it's going to be. Okay? All right? And, yep, go ahead. So the first course in Barrie, I told everybody it was sold out, but guess what? If anybody's interested in coming to Barrie, we have 1 spot left in the non-surgical course, okay? And I can take 1 more person in the Whole Life Coach. So you could just come to the non-surgical course, or you could come to the Whole Life Coach and the Wolf Non-Surgical. I have 1 spot left. You're going to have to call me, and then that's it, because we need an equal number in the non-surgical because we team up with all that body work. Okay, everybody? Next. And Barrie, Ontario, we now have about 8 people in the second course, and we're going to take 20. That's it, and that's the cutoff. We're still a ways away. Next. And then we're back here in Ixtapa from October 24th, November 15th. That'll be the last New World Practitioner course here in Ixtapa, everyone, before Christmas. Next. Now, NWP Empowerment, we have it on Telegram. If you think that you want to take a course, or if you're taking a course, you need to go on there and meet all the other people that are taking all these courses everywhere else and contact each other to make sure that you bring the right things. When you come to a course that's not in Ixtapa, what we do is we have everybody either bring a mat and a bolster, or a massage chair and a bolster, or and we have them bring a couple of towels or some other things to bring, but we all come together bringing our stuff. Okay, so just so you know, and feel free to give me a call. There's someone taking calls right now. I'll be doing it in a few minutes. When I'm off of here, I'll be making all my calls, all right? Okay, where am I in Barrie? Well, you need to call if you want to know where the lecture is, love, in Barrie, okay? Because that's how well we're doing it, because I'll tell you something right now. We want people that really want to be there. People that really want to be there. It's not how many come, it's who comes to the lecture. That's the most important thing, okay? So you can see here, everyone, this shows the dates: McKinney, Ixtapa, Barrie, Ixtapa. Okay, and just so you know, everyone, I will be doing lectures, not lectures, I will be doing a course in Florida and another one in Wisconsin in the new year. We'll give you those dates. And there'll be another course here in Ixtapa in January, okay? Oh, it's already on here. January 16th to January 16th to the 25th is going to be the Whole Life Coach, and then the Wolf Non-Surgical is January 27th to February the 7th, okay? And like I said, if you want to join us on Thursday, this Thursday night, we're going to be going through and talking about all the things. If you come here for treatments, or we come to see you for personal treatment and training or personal certification, we'll fly anywhere around the world to certify you or to teach you how to do the Wolf Non-Surgical on yourself and your family. Okay, that's called personal treatment and trainings. Go to personaltreatmentandtrainings.com, and you'll see them all right here, okay? And then you'll see the next slide, okay? And this shows how many hours and all the great things that you get when you do this, all right? And those of you that are going to be taking our courses tomorrow night at 5 o'clock Central Time, on Zoom, we are going to be unleashing and launching our platform. Did you know that the Doc of Detox will have the world's biggest platform? That's what we're going to have, and that's not me exaggerating. We'll have our own Facebook. You'll be able to come on if you're a practitioner, and you'll be able to come on to our portal. And we're going to be getting all our practitioners around the world, and we're going to be coming together. And we already have it, but it's even going to be bigger. We have the largest free library, self-care, self-love library in the world. You might want to check that out, people. Okay, I'm going to prove to you that human beings are good and they're unlimited in their power in learning how to love themselves and each other. And I'm going to start with me. I want to thank you for joining me today. 3, 2, 1. We know you got this, Braveheart. I am love. I am healed. I am Braveheart. Today and every day, from the moment I rise until I gently close my eyes, I will trust, honor, respect, protect, forgive, and totally love myself first and foremost before anyone else or anything else. So help me God, because I am, I can, I'm healed, I'm Braveheart. Have a beautiful day.